We have to learn that this business of teaching is about respect, it's about being polite, it's about giving what you want to get for yourself. And you see, if we practice not being polite and respectful to our students, we do the same thing when we get home to our children, and we do the same thing to our spouses without realizing it. Is it any wonder that sometimes someone will get so much burden? Next thing you think I'm talking to somebody specifically. Now, if we want, ladies and gentlemen, if we want to teach from the heart and the soul, we have to manage our classrooms well. We have to need firmness and control. But firmness is not about being crude. To be firm can be kind. We do it in a kind and a loving manner. Yes. As students, I am in a class and we are discussing in Heritage Week riddles and Jamaican culture. And from across the classroom, a boy said, "My mother had 3 children, the one of them made black, but them body white." This boy had never heard the riddle, and when he heard the answer, to be happy, he said, "BC!" straight across the classroom. Be careful. Be careful of what you're thinking. Be careful. Be careful. I didn't take it there. So, when the boy yelled that out in such colorful vernacular, when he did that, and everybody expected me to come down hard on him, I said, "I'm sure that slipped out of your mouth." He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Be careful next time," and we moved on. Firm but controlled. I didn't have to stop the class. This was a boy whose environment had conditioned him. If you get a salad, it's a bad word. Yes. And there was no need to be crude and to punish him. Firmness in love, I am sure I gave him an option, a way out. I am sure that slipped out of your mouth. He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Be careful next time," and we moved on. So what I'm saying, colleagues, is if we're going to teach from the heart, these are some of the qualities that we must have. We must have high expectation for our children. If teachers didn't have high expectations for me, I couldn't be here today talking with you. There were some teachers who had no expectations of me. Like the teacher who, when I wrote on the paper and couldn't write on the lines or catch the margin correctly, would just say in the paper like Air Jamaica and say, "Take this rubbish from me." But the teacher who said to me, "Hickswell, you are a good writer. You're a smart boy." The teacher who said to me, "If you could only put on paper the way you talk, you would be great." And guess what? I started to believe it. How often do we put the children down because we don't have an expectation from them? Because them shoes dirty, them clothes dirty, them armpits need a little visitation, their hair not combed because they come from certain poverty. We're going to have to turn and be like Mother Teresa and love them. We have to set high expectations for them. There was a teacher who told Theodore Whitmore to string him out of class some years ago. He never finished his grade 9 achievement test. He left school before time. And I can tell you, because he was my student, today he is a national coach on his way out. By the way, let me just warn you. Hello, if you leave here and tell anybody that I'm a full idiot, it's a lie, I'm just half. If we're going to teach from the heart, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to learn a thing called humility. Yeah. We're going to have to learn to be humble. It's hard to be humble, but guess what? It's not about you, you know. You know, Mother Teresa says, at the end of our lives, it will not matter how many diplomas we have, the size of our houses, the size car, how much money we have in the bank. She goes on, she says, it is going to be, I was hungry, and you gave me to eat. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was homeless, and you took me in. Hungry not for bread, but for love. Naked not for clothing, but for respect and dignity. And homeless not for want of a house or room of bricks, but homeless because of rejection. We have to be careful enough, because what goes around, it's a serious thing. This is a heart-to-heart talk. We're going to have to learn not just to be humble, but we need to be fair. Fair to our colleagues, fair to the students. Don't drape up the students, beat them up, and then when you get into trouble, you start telling lies, say it's not so good. When the whole class saw you. Yeah, when you go to the principal and the board, your story changes. And you get all some colleagues to back you up. What is that you're doing? We're going to have to learn to be fair to all of our children and to our colleagues. We're going to have to learn to use in our classrooms a variety of approaches. Because variety is the spice of teaching. Yeah, we're going to have to learn to do that. We're going to have to learn to have a sense of humor in our classrooms. Some of our face tough. We don't smile, we don't laugh. My children would say, teacher, when I get a joke from morning. Come on, teacher, nice it up, teacher, nice it up. We have to have a sense of humor in what we do. So sometimes when we're going along and we want the class to be nice because we're teaching from the heart, we're taking a risk to make sure that everybody gets what they're supposed to get. And I said to them, come on, we're talking about immunization, and the words, these are boys and girls who are in the lowest, the 5th of 5 grade 4s. And I said to them, guess what, we're going to learn all of these words. I said, tell me something, what's the latest rhythm on the road? And they said, teacher, this, that, but we can't say the word. I said, just roll the rhythm for me. And they just roll the rhythm. And they roll the rhythm, and I said, we're going to put words to this rhythm, all the words that you must learn. And I said to them, say, come on now, we're talking about immunizations. I would say, immunizations prevent diseases, whether they are given by drops or shots. So we must go to health centers, and you can prevent tuberculosis, chase away tetanus and diphtheria, keep away poliomyelitis and measles. Yes, you can keep away the whooping cough, and your bodies will go healthy. So all you mothers who have young babies, just be wise and get them immunized. Prevention is better than cure, so be sure that you go to a health center and you can prevent. And it's a wheel and come against it. So teaching from the heart and the soul is not just about giving humor, but it's also about making the class fun. Fun. You know, I just picture some of you up here, you know. Get the assignment and your face long. The boyfriend and your husband say, Lord, the work have you done so much I can't even give you a truth. The children say, Lord, man, you make it so cross. Learning must be fun. Must be fun. Fun, teachers, fun. And if it is not fun, something is wrong. So here's what I'm saying to us. I want you, as you work using some of these qualities, skip out quite a few of them, I want you to start saying, if you're teaching from heart and soul, you must make a difference. Yeah, you must make a difference. And if you're making that difference, everybody will know. You don't have to walk and tell anybody. The children will talk about you. They'll go home and they'll dramatize what's happening. Parents will want their children to come to you no matter how ugly you are. Yeah. The principal will want you to be promoted. Other teachers will come asking you for advice. You will become one of the teachers who can form a little community of learners among your staff because you have been making a difference. And I found this poem that says, have I made a difference? And I say, I must share it with you. It says here, have I made a difference for you today? You can now read what the printed word says. Have I made a difference in teaching the song? Hold on. Because I just see one page. Yeah, something is wrong here. But it's a song, it's stapled up wrong. So, guess what happened? Like every good teacher, I just want to whet your appetite at this point. And then, if I find it, and if you're good, I'll give you the rest later. Now you have a reason to listen to the rest of this presentation. So here is what I am saying to us colleagues. It is going to be imperative, it is going to be a must, that as you work from the heart and the soul coming out, that you are going to have to make a difference for all the children that come into your care. Searching for it while I'm talking. Because you have to learn how to multitask in situations like this. A teacher must never be caught flat-footed so that he or she cannot continue with the business at hand. But since I'm not finding it, I just want to come down to a point where I want to now challenge you. And to say that in teaching from the heart with excellence, as I said earlier, the teacher who is teaching from the heart and ensuring excellence is one who is going to care more than others think is wise. That teacher is going to risk more than others think is safe. In the face of criticism, you're going to do what you know you have to do. That teacher is going to dream more than others think is practical. That's a teacher with all the charts and the songs and the games. That's a teacher who is innovative and take the children outside and come and say, they're going to measure up out here. So we talk about jerk chicken, we're going to write a jerk chicken lesson. And we're going to put you out there with the pan, and we're going to season, and we're going to put it on. And every child will turn his or her piece of chicken, and we're going to write about it. We're going to describe the process. We're going to write a story, a poem. We're going to do a big tune on it. And create learning in a very exciting way. That's dreaming more than others think is practical. This teacher is going to plan more than others think is necessary. Because when you're planning for these children, you are going to realize that every child needs a little touch. And how are you going to touch these children differently? You're going to have to love more than others think is reasonable. Some people going to say you suck up to the children too much. Yeah, you ramp up with children too much because they don't understand that it's about love. I have some children of many years. I called a mother a couple of years, I called a mother last week. This boy is now 36 who came to school and refused to talk because his voice is fine and one teacher said to him, you chat like girl picnic. And he locked off and wouldn't speak. And when I spoke to his mother, who was a vendor at the gate, she said to me, that's why Lennox wouldn't talk. I said, no, big man. Everybody have a different voice, and we started reasoning. And Lennox came out of his shell. So I wondered what had happened to him, like the John Hopkins professor. And last week I got a number and called his mother. I said, how are you doing? She said, Lord have mercy, she almost got into the spirit. She said, I never expected to hear from you. You know, some people stush and some people don't talk to the common folk. I said, well, believe me, it's about a month now I've been wondering what happened to you and that boy. She said, you know, he got shot in the eye, he has lost one eye, not coming out much, and so on and so on. But she said, teacher, you know what I remember most of all? She said, I remember how you loved Lennox like a father. She said, you used to give him all sorts of clothes and shoes and money. And I said, me? She said, yes, you used to do it. And she said, guess what? You used to tell me the same thing your mother used to do. And I said to myself, wow, what a legacy from Mama. What a legacy to be reaching out to the most vulnerable. To the child who felt unloved and was becoming truant, hiding away from school. The mother is telling me I used to give him things. Yeah. I had a plumber who couldn't read. I didn't know. He used to work for me, and one day he came in tears. He said, my boss won't pay me. I said, why? He said, because I can't read. I said, I can teach you. He said, I don't have no money. I said, as long as you're willing to come, then I will teach you. The boy now operates a business in Florida. And when I go to Florida, and I call him and I said, David, I'm in town. He said, I'm sorry, I come pick up tomorrow. And David would take me to any store. And he said, what size your waist? What size your shoes? What size shirt? And he would just pick up and I said, then boss, how am I going to carry that? He said, take up my suitcase stuff. Yeah. So you have to love more than others think is reasonable. And then you also have to expect more than others think is possible. You know how many people didn't think it was possible that this blind boy, this very blind boy, could ever become anything at all? You know how many persons had no hopes? You know how many of you at home have children who not so bright, but you spend all the money on the ones who so bright and they go to college and to university and you're so proud, but then jump on a plane, get married and gone and you don't see or hear nothing from them. And it's the little one that you didn't spend so much on is still at home with you. How much time I have left? So what I'm saying to us colleagues is that we have to be careful. There was this mother, you know, this mother who had one eye and she had one boy who was brilliant. Really brilliant. But the boy was ashamed of his mother. And so it happened that his mother had to go to school many times. And he was so embarrassed, so ashamed, he told her never to come back. And when that happened, she was so ashamed. One day she was at home. After many years he got married and had his children. She never saw them, she knew nothing about them. And he was going home for an alumni function. And when he got home to the community, his mother was at home hoping he would come. And while she was there was a knock on the door. And he came. She was so excited she jumped up off the chair and fell on the floor. He kicked the door open, ran in and picked her up. She was bruised, he cleaned her off. Wiped the cuts, put her back in the chair. But she had a letter she was writing for him. And she said, son, I have this letter for you. She gave him and he started reading. The letter said, when you were a little boy, you fell. A stake outside plucked out one of your eyes. That's why I have one eye. I gave that eye to you so that you could see the world. Teachers, I am now saying to you that you now have the responsibility to help the children entrusted in your care to see the world. Let them see the world through who you are. And let them see the world in a way that will cause you to feel proud of them. People are going to be unreasonable and illogical. You're going to have to love them anyway. You're going to have to forgive them. If you are kind to some of these parents and children, they may accuse you of ulterior motive. But guess what? Be kind anyway. You're going to find out that if you are successful as a teacher, you will win some false friends and some true enemies. But guess what you have to do? Succeed anyway. If you are honest and if you are frank, some people will say that you show off and that they will say that you have cheated. But guess what? Be honest and be frank anyway. What you spend years building, some people may just come and tear it down overnight. But guess what you have to do? Build anyway. Give the world the best you have. And you may never be, and it may never be enough. But guess what? Give the world the best you have anyway. Enjoy the rest of it.
observe, if I were an eloquent speaker, I would probably say, Dr. Ixwell Douglas, your address to us as master learners is too timely. At this time in our lives, we do seek advice to enhance our intrinsic motivation. As you shared, we had time to reflect on ourselves as teachers. You have encouraged us to be better teachers than we truly are. To have reinforced teaching from the heart is exceptional. Your life experiences reminded us that there is still hope for those we serve, our students. Your sense of humor and charming personality, which is an envy to us men in the room, and I'm sure the ladies would agree, especially when you serenaded us and reminded us that Jesus loves us. I say kudos to you. But because I'm not so much of an eloquent speaker, I just want to say thank you on behalf of the learning communities and the dignitaries. And I hope when you will and come again, you will teach us the next time how not to get burned. Thank you very much.
A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in pitchers of silver. That comes from the book of Proverbs. Dr. Hickswell, it is my distinct pleasure to present you with this token from the family members of the Catholic College of Management. You spoke to us so eloquently, piercing and thought-provoking, and we were truly inspired. You really kept to the theme, and you taught our minds, and you have touched our hearts. Bless you so very much.
It is indeed a great honor, it is indeed a great pleasure to extend to you this gift basket for a job well done.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can. Take a little time out of your busy day to give encouragement to someone who's lost their way. Or would I be talking to a stone if I asked for you to share a problem that's not your own? We can change things if we start giving. Why don't you reach out and touch somebody's hand? Make this world a better place. If you can, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can, take a little time out of your busy day to give encouragement to someone who's lost their way. Or would I be talking to a stone if I ask you make this world a better place if you can.
Sharp, profound, witty, and we could go on. A speech that will leave us thinking about a few things for a long time to come. Thank you so much, Dr. Douglas. And thank you so much, my dear colleague who came up and sang just now. We salute you for this great day that this has been. While I say thanks, it's still not my duty to do so, but to ask Mrs. Arlene Rose Morgan if she would be pleased to come and move the vote of thanks at this time.
None is more impoverished than the one who has no gratitude. Gratitude is a currency that we can mint for ourselves and spend without fear of bankruptcy. And that's a quote from Fred DeWitt Van Amber. Mr. Chairman, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the honor has been bestowed upon me to thank everyone who participated in today's event, whether directly or indirectly, to make it a resounding success. Mr. Chairman, we thank you for manning the program so ably. Your charisma and astuteness did set the tone for a spectacular event, and a remarkable and enlightening one you did have. To our humor-filled guest speaker, Dr. Ixwell Douglas, we express our sincere gratitude. And like Margaret Fuller once said, if you have knowledge, let others light their torches at it. Your discourse was so packaged, we were able to do so. It was comprehensive, concise, well-proportioned, and sobering. Our torches have been lit, and we are motivated, inspired, and re-energized to use our hearts and souls to chart our courses. Your rapport with the audience was impeccable and is worth mentioning. And again, we say thanks. We would also like to express our appreciation to the visionary organizers of the event. Special thanks to everyone who has performed or who was instrumental in carrying out some aspect of today's program. Your effort did not go unnoticed, and we are appreciative. Today's proceedings would not be as successful